When did bolt cutters become your dad's negotiation tool? My dad is the quietest, most patient man I have ever met. He waits his turn in line, never complains about bad service, and thinks a heated debate is disagreeing on what toppings to get on a pizza. But I learned that day that even the most patient man has a breaking point, and my dad's breaking point was a smug storage unit manager named Kevin. We were in the middle of a huge move. Our new house wasn't ready, so we had to put every single thing we owned into a storage unit for 1 month. We're talking my entire childhood in boxes. My mom's wedding dress, old family photos, my grandfather's war medals, everything that mattered to us was in that 10 by 15 foot metal box. We paid the first month's rent on time, got our key, and didn't think about it again. A month later, our moving truck was scheduled to arrive at the storage facility at 11 a.m. to load everything up. We got there at 10:30, ready to go, but our key wouldn't turn in the lock. That's when we saw it. Our standard silver padlock was gone, and in its place was a huge, thick, circular red lock. It looked like something you'd see on a bank vault. Confused, we walked to the front office. The air inside smelled like stale coffee and cheap air freshener. A man with a greasy ponytail and a name tag that said Kevin was sitting behind the counter, scrolling on his phone. My dad calmly explained the situation. Hi, we're in Unit 3B. It seems our lock has been changed. Kevin didn't even look up from his phone. Unit 3B, you're late on your payment. That can't be right, my mom said, pulling out her phone. The payment came out of our account 2 weeks ago. See? She showed him the clear as day bank statement. Kevin finally looked up, glanced at the phone, and shrugged. My computer says you didn't pay, so you didn't pay. He took a long, loud sip from a giant plastic mug. The computer automatically puts a company lock on any delinquent unit. To get it removed, you'll have to pay this month's rent again, plus a $50 late fee and a $75 lock removal fee. My dad took a deep, steadying breath. I could see the muscle in his jaw twitch. Sir, we have proof of payment right here, and our moving truck will be here in 20 minutes. We need to get our things. Kevin leaned back in his squeaky chair and smirked. Look, I just work here. The computer says you owe us money. Pay it or don't. Your stuff stays right where it is. The condescending tone was what did it. My dad, ever the believer in process, asked for the corporate office's number. Kevin lazily wrote it on a sticky note. My dad called and was immediately put on hold. We stood there in that stuffy office for what felt like an eternity, listening to terrible, tinny hold music. The moving truck driver called my dad's phone. Hey, I'm here. Where are you guys at? The pressure was mounting. My mom was starting to pace, her face pale with stress. After 25 agonizing minutes, a cheerful voice from corporate finally answered. My dad explained the entire situation, bank statements and all. The corporate drone listened and then said, I understand your frustration, sir, but we can't do anything from our end. You'll need the on-site manager to verify the payment issue and override the system. The on-site manager is Kevin, my dad said, his voice dangerously low. He's the one refusing to help. Well, I'd be happy to transfer you to his office line, the voice offered. And before my dad could protest, we were listening to a phone ringing on Kevin's desk, which he completely ignored while staring right at us. The call went to voicemail. It was a perfect, unbreakable loop of corporate nonsense. My dad slowly lowered his phone. The look on his face had changed. The patience was gone. He didn't say a word to Kevin. He just turned, looked at my mom, who was now quietly crying, and walked out of the office. We followed him to our old station wagon, thinking he'd given up. I felt a wave of despair wash over me. All our memories were being held hostage by a guy named Kevin. My dad opened the trunk. He moved aside a spare tire and some jumper cables and pulled out his old, rusty red metal toolbox. He lifted the lid, and the sound of clanking metal filled the air. He rummaged for a moment, pushing aside wrenches and hammers, until his hand closed around the handles of the biggest, most serious-looking pair of bolt cutters I had ever seen in my life. They were 1.5 feet long, heavy steel, and looked like they could cut through a car door. He slammed the trunk shut and started walking back toward our unit. His footsteps on the hot asphalt were loud and deliberate. He walked with a purpose I had never seen before. Kevin must have seen him through the office window because he came running out, yelling, Sir, you can't do that. That is company property. I'm calling the police. My dad didn't stop. He didn't slow down. He didn't even look at him. He walked right up to the big red lock, opened the jaws of the bolt cutters, and fit them around the thick metal shackle. He wiped his sweaty hands on his jeans, took a firm grip on the handles, and paused for a second. The muscles in his forearms tensed. He put all of his weight into it, squeezing the handles together. There was a single deafening metallic snap that echoed through the entire facility. The lock fell to the ground in 2 clean pieces. My dad slid open the rumbling metal door to our unit, turned to me and my mom, and said in the calmest voice imaginable, All right, let's get our stuff. All